Hello, our esteemed viewers, and welcome to our top-notch education consultancy programs. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly do so because we have so much that we would want to share with you. As you are aware, we have been discussing the set books, Fathers of Nations, the Samaritan, Artist of the Floating World, Parliament of Owls, and also the Samaritan. So we've had a lot of discussions on these set books, and we believe that our discussions have helped you, even as you continue to deliver content to our students. In my today's program, I will be discussing issues to do with examination. And as you're aware, our examination is approaching. Our candidates or students are preparing for the national examination, and it is prudent that we prepare them adequately as they wait for the national examination. Today, I want to delve again into essay writing, and we are going to discuss the Samaritan. We are going to use a question and answer approach, and in this context, we'll be writing essays from the Samaritan. This is the question that I would like us to discuss, that selfish interests by the leaders is a reason the citizens suffer. Selfish interest by our leaders is a reason the citizens suffer. And you're supposed to discuss this, giving clear illustrations from the Samaritan. Now, as I had said in the previous discussions, there must always be an introduction. And I said that an introduction is an interpretation of the task that you have been given. In this context, the question is the task that the student has been given. Selfish interest by our leaders is the reason the citizens suffer. So that is a task, and we have to interpret it, and we have to identify the keywords. In this case, we have selfish. Also, we have reasons why citizens suffer. So in this context, if a candidate writes an introduction like greed by those in authority is a reason people suffer. So if a candidate writes that greed by those in authority make the lives of the people unbearable. Greed by the people in authority make the lives of the people unbearable. Then that candidate shall have interpreted the task, because the word selfish has been paraphrased with the word greed. And now the leaders are now the people in authority in that context. Therefore, if you look at that introduction, it is an introduction that qualifies because all the keywords or the key phrases have been taken care of. So a candidate can write that greed by those in authority make the lives of the people unbearable. And this is clearly illustrated in John Lara's play, The Samaritan. That is enough to score 2. Now, let me bring to your attention the characters in this play that have that greed, that are selfish, and I will demonstrate how selfish they are. I would like to begin with the character called Inspector Bembe. We are aware that Bembe is an inspector of police and he's been accused of several crimes that is committed. The first one is his Madingo Golf Club and the adjacent house, that is his adjacent house to the Madingo Golf Club. The two structures or the two buildings stand on a public land. So you realize that that is being selfish. He takes what belongs to the University of Maracas, hides off some part of it, and that is where he's been able to put his Madingo Golf Club and his house. So this is a clear demonstration that the university and the students are suffering simply because Bembe has grabbed their land. He is also a member of the Ghetto Boys, a shadowy gang that robbs people all over the municipality. So he is also engaged in gangsterism. He owns a gang, and that gang is called the Ghetto Boys. And they are involved in actually terrorizing the people in the municipality. Bembe officers also collect money from motorists every day, and it is the same money that he has used to build or to construct the Madigo Golf Club and his adjacent house. So you can see people are suffering, but he's actually busy amassing wealth. So in this case, it goes beyond any reasonable doubt that he is involved in greedy exercise that actually disenfranchises the citizens. He has transformed the municipal police into a personal outfit for collecting bribes from the guilty and innocent alike. So even the police has been turned into an organization that is personal, and they're actually collecting bribes from the guilty and the innocent alike. So when you look at the life of Bembe and what he does, it is a clear demonstration that he actually benefits from the people. His greed has actually driven him to acquire a lot of wealth at the expense of the citizens. So if you look at that, then you have demonstrated, you have given the background information that demonstrates beyond any reasonable doubt that Bembe actually is involved in greed that affects the people of Maracas municipality. The second character that we can discuss is Ted King. Ted King is known as the Bat. That is how the mayor calls him. And the mayor tells us, because when the mayor is sharing with Nicole, we don't know whether it's a gossip, but you see, it's been given in the text. So we take it as an illustration that he ate a whole hospital. Remember, an hospital is a facility, and health facility for the people. But Bembe ate the whole hospital. How? According to Mayor Mosi, his department only actually gives tenders to his companies and the companies of his relatives and friends. So these are the people that win tenders. And so when they were constructing the hospital, it means that the tenders were given to his relatives and his friends only. And what did they do? He conspired with these companies and stole all the money that had been budgeted for the health centers. They only put up some site offices that looked like cow sheds. That is what the mayor tells us. So they have been given money to construct hospitals. But instead of constructing hospitals, Bembe has ended up giving the tenders to his relatives and his friends. And they have actually amassed a lot of wealth of money. Because instead of constructing the hospitals and health centers, they have only been able to construct some site offices that is being referred to as here as resembling the cow sheds. So that is a case of greed that disenfranchises the citizens. We are told that he earned his livelihood by pirating other people's music and made noise for everybody before he became a politician. So actually, when we trace his life, that is Ted King, we realize that he actually was pirating people's music, and that is how he got his wealth. So that kind of person ought not to have been elected as a leader, because he's someone who depends on other people's sweat. But in this case, he pirated. But again, he was elected by the people, and now he's disenfranchising the very people that elected him. He's been given the money to construct hospitals and health centers, but he has ended up just constructing some site offices, and they look like cow sheds. So we are told that companies that are associated with him bill municipal council huge sums of money every month without rendering any services. Actually, they are the people who are supplying air to the municipality that the mayor talked about at the very beginning of this play. So if you look at the life of Ted King, we also realize that he's involved in aspects of greed. And this greed affects the people. Now, the third case that I would want to talk about is Simo. He is the one behind the protracted delays in the issuance of building approvals in the municipality. So buildings are approved only when owners part with money to bribe him. So he is actually the person in charge of planning and infrastructural development in the municipality. But we realize that instead of approving buildings, he doesn't approve any at all until and unless he's been bribed. So in this case, he's actually disenfranchising the people. Instead of benefiting the people, he's actually taking away from the people because he's to be bribed first before he approves your building. His department does not adhere to the standards of building, and that is a risk to the people in Maracas municipality. You can build anything provided you part with dollars, and that's what the text tells us. That in this municipality you can build anything unless you can build anything as long as you part with some dollars. And that means he's put his interest first at the expense of the people. So as long as you've given him the money, he doesn't care whether what you're going to build is a risk to the people. And that is what he does. We're also told that he owns the murderous Black Swan gang that is behind the mysterious disappearance of people in town. These are the people who elected you, but you terrorize them. You have a Black Swan gang that terrorizes the people, and at the end of it all, the people actually die in the process because these people disappear without any trace as a result of his gang. And that is a Black Swan gang. He also sells drugs and responsible for narcotic trafficking. And you can see, we are told that in this municipality there are so many young people who are drug addicts. They have turned into cabbages because of Simo, who is actually trafficking drugs and also sells drugs as well. So when you look at that, then it is a confirmation that his greed drives him to do things that are illegal at the expense of the people who elected him. I would want to finish my discussion with another character, and that is Ian Jaden, who is actually the principal judge of Maracas municipality. But he's responsible for the rats scandal. And we all know the history of rat scandal because of his association with a company called the Prime Orchard Company. This is a company that is owned by Ian Jaden's girlfriend or mistress, that is Ivy. And this rat scandal was created by them. They wanted a contract from the municipal council to kill the rats that were ravaging the grain granary. Actually, there were no rats at all. And therefore, in the first instance, the municipality rejected that. But again, he enlisted the services of Ian Jaden, who is the judge. And therefore, Ivy, in his application, said that he had suffered losses when he was not given this contract. And when Jaden made the judgment, he talked about single tendering, where you can be given a tender because probably you are the only person that can provide that particular service. So in this case, Jaden ruled in favor of Ivy, and Ivy finally got the tender. But there were no rats. So what happened is that they created rats at the Prime Orchard, where the rats were bred, and these rats were unleashed to the municipal grain granary. And they ravaged the grains, and in the process, there was need now to kill the rats. And therefore they tendered again for them now to get the cats, to kill these rats. And these were just creations. There were no rats in the first place. They bred them in their prime orchard company. And from there, they took them, they unleashed them to the municipal grain granaries. And now they are seeking to get the cats. And actually, the tender was given, and finally, you realize that there was the bit that Ian Jaden got from it. And we are also told that even Basdeo and Ramdai were part of this scheme. In fact, they were enlisted by Ivy as shareholders in this company. So you can see leaders getting into scandals, creating scandals so that they may benefit from the people. So I hope that you have understood what we have presented to you. These are not the only characters or leaders that put their greed first at the expense of the people. Even the mayor himself, we can discuss the mayor. Remember at one point he said that as a leader, sometimes when he receives the loaves, he actually takes one or two slices, and having taken the one slice, then gives the rest to the people. But I want us to look at what he says after that, that for the rest of the leaders, what they do is that they eat the loaves, all of it, and they also eat the wrapping together with the vendor. So that tells you how greedy these leaders are. Because the mayor is also accused of what we call the municipal capture. That means his own interest in business interferes with the tendering processes in the municipal. So that is a form of corruption. And we are told that this is one of the highest forms of corruption. And the mayor is involved in it. So he cannot excuse himself, because everything that happens in this municipality stops with him, because the buck stops with him as the leader of the municipality. I hope you have understood our discussion, and thank you very much. And we hope that this helps you and helps our students as well as they prepare for the national examination. God bless you abundantly.